Creating digital products isn't hard, you just haven't learned the easy way to do it yet. Hey good people, I'm Alex and let's talk about the easiest way to create digital products in 2025. The biggest hurdle people have is the how, right? Like how are you gonna go from idea to product? And so in today's video, we're gonna dive into that. So let's just get right on to it. I remember when I was selling print on demand and there was just times where I just wished I had the designs already made for me, especially working a full-time job, okay? If you know, then you know. It was just so frustrating coming up with the whole process from start to finish, right? So product research, designing it, and then posting it. That was a lot. And that's when I wish I knew about my friends over at Kittl. Kittl is this designing platform that offers easy to use templates for beginners to create and then sell for a profit. Now, you guys know I started in the t-shirt industry. And the last time I checked, selling anything in the t-shirt and clothing industry is not stopping anytime soon. So when it comes to creating a design, I'm thinking about creating designs for fellow print on demand sellers so that way they can just have an easier process to grow their business. Let's hop into it. Now let's talk about solving the how, okay? So when it comes to using Kittl, the first thing that I think is really important is that they make it really simple to navigate and just know where everything is. And that's really important as a beginner. Now before I start designing, I want to validate my idea. Now if you're in social media, okay, there's no secret that you kind of notice, you pick up things that are trending within people's content. So for me, I have noticed a lot of the love for espresso martinis. And I think that that's just something cool to create when it comes to being niche specific. You know, the riches are in the niches. And so I like to come from that lens. So the first thing I do before I design is just go to Etsy. Love going to the source itself. And I'm just going to type in espresso martini shirts. And I'm going to see what pulls up. So I kind of just scrub through here. A lot of times I look at like bestseller or popular now because that gives me an idea of what I can start kind of recreating and just put things, you know, in my own little way. So once I kind of scrub through here and kind of get an idea of what to design, I start picking up like, I got it. I know what I can start doing. So all of these are kind of similar. Obviously, it's just, again, niche specific. So espresso martini related. I like the teeny time idea. I think that's really cute and quirky. And so that gives me confidence that me validating this idea is going to work for me if I was a print on demand seller and I wanted to sell this. So now that I've done my validation, I'm going to go back to Kittl and now I'm going to start designing. I'm going to click on new project and now it brings me to the Kittl editor screen. Let me tell you something, okay? When it comes to the ease of using this platform, I, for one, find it really helpful that they have, again, the pre-made templates of where to design. So if you want to start with t-shirts, they already have a t-shirt artboard size for you to create. What this tells me is that using this platform, I don't have to go off anything and try to Google what the dimensions are for t-shirts. I have this right at my fingertips. So for me, I'm going to click on t-shirts. But also if you notice here, if you wanted to use any other type of artboard size for industry, you have other options and they have a specific print on demand section. Okay. Yeah, I love that. So I'm just going to go to Printify and click on the Printify t-shirt and hit create. And so boom, I have a fresh canvas. And so now I'm going to start thinking about how I can put the espresso martini or like teeny time idea to fruition. So over here on the left hand side, I have all the options to, you know, create a lot of things. I can go to templates here, which it already populates for you, which is nice. So you can get inspo on where you can start. If you have some ideas of like a font or just like the design approach, you can just scrub through here. You have your text section, which is nice too, elements, and so many other things. So first thing I'm going to look for is an espresso martini. So I'm going to go to elements and I'm just going to search espresso martini. And as you can see here, it has some ideas for me. So I can do espresso martini like glass or photo or image. I'm just going to go with regular espresso martini. And now I see the options that it lists for me below. So it looks like the top 4 are pretty close to it. And fun fact, I'm not an espresso martini girly, but I think they look cute and I love that people like them, okay? But they're just not personally for me. However, I think that it's a really good design idea. So now I'm kind of going back and forth on, okay, which one do I really want to go with? And so I think that this one is a good idea. So this one without the bow, and it looks pretty realistic. But if you wanted something that has more like a clip art effect, I think that you'll be good with the one with the bow as well. I think that when it comes to putting things on a t-shirt, this one might come off a little bit better if you ask me, but you have a couple of different options. So the approach I'm going with is that teeny time approach. So I know for a fact that I'm going to have to kind of put this in the place of the I in teeny time. And now it's time for me to look for a text. So I'm going to go to text. I'm going to see like, okay, if I think about cute girly things, I know that when it comes to text, you can keep it simple, yes, which is great. But Kindle also gives you a lot of text templates and inspiration. So if I go to titles and I go to show all and I just really see like what other fonts are working well, what have they paired with as examples, and just get some inspiration, I'll be fine. So this fine lines combination is kind of cool. I like how it has the bold yet simple italicized feature to it. That's really good because you can kind of like differentiate your design and add that dimension as well. So just kind of going through here, seeing what really works well. You'll get an idea of really good inspo if you just kind of take your time and go through all of this. I also like looking into the decorated section too. So if I go to all of the decorated text, I like a 3D effect or like a nice good script font. That'd be really cool. Again, I'm all about the inspo. So I'm going to choose this Paris one. I really like this one. Again, I like the 3D effect. And so I'm going to start sizing it to where it really looks big enough on the t-shirt. And then of course, fits well with the martini glass. So I'm going to start typing out the T, and I'm going to do this separately because this espresso martini glass is going to be in the place of the I, right? So we're going to create that vision. So I'm just going to drag this all together, kind of size it up to where it matches. And then so now I can duplicate this T because it's the same design I want to have throughout, right? So I can press these two paper icons that are close together to duplicate this. And then I'm going to drag it over to the other side, the N and the I. So I'm going to just make sure everything lines up because we like symmetry over here. That's not looking too bad. Now, I do like to kind of play with the size too because you just never know how it's going to look on a t-shirt. But ultimately, this is a jam. Now, what I'm also going to do is take this same font, duplicate it because I want everything consistent throughout, the t-shirt. So now I'm just going to type in time. And we're going to just make that align with the top of the text. It's super easy to navigate. As you can see here, it does not take long at all. And I'm just going to line it up to make sure it matches. And voila. So what this tells me is that, not only do I have a 3D effect with this text, right? People who love espresso martinis would get this, right? So when it's time for them to get them a drink, they know exactly what to do or what shirt to pull out essentially from like a marketing perspective. But this is how easy it is to design. So this took me a couple of minutes, y'all, like when it came to designing. And then even to make things kind of match up, you also have the ability to change like the colors of the font. So it's not like you're just limited to what it has. You can also change the transformation. So if I wanted to make this like slanted, add some fun little ways, to it, jazz it up a little bit, I can. I'm not going to do that, but you have the option to. Okay, so I like how the layout is. I kind of just play around with the size of the image again and the font until it really looks perfect in my eyes. But theoretically, this is it, right? I love this. I think it's a good idea. I'm going to change the text to be brown. So like the shading in here inside the T and all the other letters, I want that to be brown. So I'm just going to go over here to the right hand side and kind of go to my gradient color panel. And I'm going to try to find like a brown shade that kind of goes with the espresso martini. So I think that's pretty decent. It's close enough to me. And so now what happens is once you choose a color for the first time, it stays in your document color. So I like that. So now I can change it pretty quickly. And there you have it. So in just a few clicks and just kind of talking out the process, you can design things really easy. And again, this is super beginner friendly. So it's not intimidating, right? Because again, we're not trying to be intimidated when we're creating designs. We just want to design it, pop them up, make a profit, and get on about our day. And that's exactly what Kittle provides. So once you have this saved, you actually can choose the mockup option that they give you here in Kittle just to kind of test things out for yourself. So you can play around with this and just kind of size it up. It's dynamic, so it'll kind of go with the size of the t-shirt. So like, what would this look like for someone who's a print-on-demand seller? And this is what it gives you, that real life idea. So from start to finish, right, you saw me do a soft validation of my design, create the design in Kittle, and also use their mockup generator to test out my own design process to make sure that this is going to look good for, a potential print-on-demand seller who wants to buy this design. So I can go back to my editor and make additional changes if I wanted to. But all in all, this was super easy for me. I, for one who have a busy schedule, really appreciates this process. So now I can save this and I can keep throwing up designs easily here on the Kittle platform. Now you saw how quick and easy that was. I am all about working smarter and not harder, okay? Now, if you want to also try designing print-on-demand designs for yourself, then you can use my link below and try Kittle. Once you get into the rhythm, trust me, it becomes so much faster and easier for you to get started. If you're also looking for inspiration when it comes to using different templates and trying out different fonts for your designs, then you can also check out this section below in my description box for more inspiration. Have fun creating, y'all, and I'm going to catch you next time. Bye.